I've been thinking quite a bit about what is spiritual life. I used to think in terms of religion. I've pretty much thrown that word away for myself, in that I've equated life with religion. And to me, spiritual life is what happens when you pay attention, when you're alert, and when you don't let yourself forget things. There's two different wandering monks that Sri Ramakrishna used to talk about that I want to bring up, and then just one little fact about our own minds and watching it, so that you know what I mean when I say that spiritual life is what happens when you pay attention. If you smell a flower, right? Everybody knows by the fifth time you smelled it, you can't smell it anymore because it's a constant, and the mind kind of degrades the importance of things that are constants, right? It filters them out. White noise, the thing in the background. And, the mind also wipes that out. And the idea, the concern with that is that God is also a constant. And when I say God, I guarantee you that I don't mean what you're thinking. And I won't mean the same thing again the next time I use the word, because the divine is an unlimited ideal, a perfection that by nature cannot be bounded in any way. You can't actually name it or create any attribute for that divinity, because it's the substratum of everything. So I don't refer to a person or refer to an anthropomorphic idea of God at all. I certainly don't discount that for anybody who does. But just as a way of communicating, that's not what I see. I see that everything that I'm looking at, behind it is a white screen, like at a movie, and that is God. So that everything that I'm seeing or experiencing through my senses and projecting in my mind are all projected on God. That God is this one thing that has become everything. And does not have a will as such, because he is the entirety, or she or that is the entirety of everything. It doesn't have a will because it's all powerful. If you're going to have something all powerful, its will is. Isness is its will. There is no lapse of time between the desire of God and the manifestation of that desire, because that is God. God is this constant flow of change, and he's the unchanging screen behind it all. And so one of the wandering monks, his practice was to walk around. He had one of those prisms from a chandelier that he had found one time, and he carried it around with him always, because he never wanted to forget that white light can become a multitude of colors, an infinite almost number of colors. And it was to kind of remind him that the nature of this world is that everything is God, everything is divine, that it's one without a second. And just like that light passing through that prism, so the nature of the divine passing through egoism creates this world of multiplicity that we live in. So he always wanted to stay firmly aware, alert of that one truth, so that he would see things properly. The other wandering monk that Ramakrishna talked about one time was this man who stood in front of a waterfall all day long, every day, constantly endeavoring to see it for the first time always, that he wouldn't grow callous to its beauty, that he wouldn't ascribe to the mundane the regularity of its wonder, of this beautiful waterfall, but that he would always notice it again for the first time, because the idea is that God is apparent and obvious, but we don't see it because we've stopped wondering. We've stopped being amazed. We look at a leaf, this miniaturized, portable solar farm that creates solar energy. It's been around for millions of years. We don't know how it works. We can't replicate it ourselves. And yet we look at a tree and we're just like, oh, tree. Cool. We've stopped to think about the wonder of a tree. You know, when I remember walking in the redwood forest up in Northern California and seeing these trees, these living beings that have literally been standing in one place for 2,000 years. And I sat there and I allowed myself to wonder. I allowed myself to open up to what would it be to experience that, to be able to find contentment and a reason to grow and survive in a single location for 2,000 years. What an amazing experience that is. And so, really, go inside, watch your mind, watch your body, watch how a thought is formed in your mind, learn how a desire is formed. What is the mind's relationship to memory? What is memory's relationship to your senses? How do they conspire together to create a desire in you, to create a plan in you, to create a hunger in you? See how these things work. And notice first and foremost that you are the observer of all these things. And the fact that you are the observer of them means that they are not you. So, constant awareness. Pay attention. Don't let life gloss over and become mundane. Allow yourself to be aware of the wonder, the mystery, the impressiveness of all of it. Become a child to it as a parent. Appreciate it, wonder at it, try and figure it out. Let it inspire in you the beauty of a walk in the woods. You know, let it inspire in you the sunset over the beach for some of these cliches. What I'm really saying is let it all remind you that you are of the same wonder. You are of the same beauty. You are the same majesty and love and wisdom as what you observe in the universe. It is not separate from you. Fill your life with that knowledge and let yourself spill out over the boundaries. Let yourself color beautifully outside of the lines.